See, I still messed it all up.
Yeah, it's okay. There you are.
We're here.
We made it. Mike got it. Mike still got it working. He still knows how to do it.
Yep, barely. We got a couple seconds late, but thanks for everybody joining us tonight here live here at the world headquarters of Spring Creek Model Trains.
Right, the world headquarters.
Yep. So front and center here in Deshler, Nebraska, here at Spring Creek. So we're excited here tonight. We got Jim from Athearn joining us again.
Yes.
So to go over some new announcements. So here, let's bring Jim to the stage here. Hey, Jim, how's it going tonight?
Doing good. How about you, Mike and Jeff?
Oh, pretty good. So thanks again joining us, going over your latest announcements. It's always fun to see the new stuff that's being put out here by our manufacturers. So, and it looks like you're in the home studio tonight, so that's pretty sweet.
I am. Yeah, I'm hoping at some point I can actually do some work on the layout instead of just showing the layout. But it's been crazy. It's been a busy ever since Train Fest. We've been swamped.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's been wild. Yeah,
it is modeling season right now. Everybody's in it. We're all swamped, which is awesome. Yeah, we love hearing from customers about all the cool things they're doing. So,
yep.
I'm thinking you're probably going to get some orders in tonight from my neck of the woods because it's gone from a nor'easter to a, what do they call it? A bomb cyclone. It's like 2 feet in my hometown. So,
we were hearing that. I think even looks like the ALTP or ATLP studio is getting snowed in too. Yeah. So they're from Ray, so a little tongue tied to
a little bit.
But anyway. So what do we want to get into? We want to get into some announcements tonight. We got anything else? Anything cool for the folks on Athearn for our website or anything? Just some new.
Just got all the locomotives up there right now, the -2s that came in here this late last month or early this month, actually.
That was an exciting production there.
If you watched Train Tuesday with Jim earlier this month, we have all those in stock and ready to sell.
Yeah, so there's some nice ones in that. There's actually 2 releases that shipped, and I always say I've got no more room for locomotives, but one of the SD40-2s we did which one is it? I gotta look. Oh, the Helm Leasing, the former BN one.
Yeah, that one's sharp.
I had
ours went super fast. The ones we had there, but I think Jeff grabbed a couple for himself.
Oh God, I was gonna say Jim only one. I got 6. What are you talking? I shouldn't say that, but no, I did actually. I got all the BNs, and then I did a Kansas City Southern and a Santa Fe. So
nice.
Replacing some older blue box locomotives from the fleet is what I'm planning with those.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Very cool.
All right. Well, let's jump into it. So I got, we'll lead us off here with some of the pre-order here for the February, right? They're due this next Friday or this coming Friday.
This coming Friday,
Yep. If you see anything on here, definitely hit us up and ask questions here tonight. We'll see what the experts here to try to answer the questions. So got a new announcements of -9s, right? So just showing off previous picture there of a Santa Fe. Obviously
you can't beat a war bonnet.
No. Yeah, the Super Fleet was pretty awesome.
Was.
And of course you're doing 3 new numbers? Let me get rid of that.
Let's see, we're doing, of the Super Fleet, we're doing 3 numbers as they were delivered in 1994. This was the last hurrah of the Santa Fe. 1994. And just a little year later, they became BNSF. So
that's crazy.
I mean, but they've lasted. I mean, we were talking before the show. I'll still see one of these out when I'm roaming around Galesburg doing some rail fanning. They don't look as nice as they did in 94, but they're still out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing that the war bonnet scheme is still trundling around. Even the green, I mean, really, all the predecessor schemes are still, you can still see a few of them out there, and it's just amazing and that they haven't got everything painted over by now.
Yep. No, that is kind of crazy to think about, especially when you're talking that long. I mean, 95, I feel like it was yesterday, but that's been a while at this point.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Pretty crazy.
Is there any new features or details, Jim, on any of these?
No new features on these, but these were highly requested by our customers. Of course, we have the Athearn product suggestion email, and so we got a lot of folks wanting these. And of course, there are some Santa Fe specific details to these that are not going to be seen in the other releases. First of all, since they're 1994, they're going to be period specific. So they're going to have the Sinclair and the end of train device antennas on them. But they also have the early dogleg stepwell gussets, which was kind of a Santa Fe thing. The Santa Fe specific plow with the open MU doors. You're probably familiar with that. And I mean, of course, the gull wing cabs too. So
right, of course.
This is one of the spotting features, because years later, some of these would end up like the one I've got on my layout now, 1044. They would end up in a various schemes, Heritage 1, Heritage 2, and of course, recently some have been painted in the premium Heritage or the swoosh paint scheme. But this is the OG -9s for the Santa Fe's.
Very cool.
That's cool. Leads us into the prime to grime here with Genesis, right?
Yeah, boy, this reminds me so much. So I typically, I don't rail fan. It's ironic, now that I work in the industry, I don't have as much time to model or rail fan.
Well, we totally understand
that.
Yeah,
you know what that's like, right?
Yeah.
Even if I'm rail fanning, I'll have Mark texting me on something, and I'm usually hoping that I don't have enough good cell phone coverage when I'm at Houlihan Curve. Anyways, when I'm once a year, I try to rail fan part of the Transcon, the former Santa Fe Transcon, and it's Toluca to Galesburg, and a lot of Santa Fe stuff along the way. Of course, Houlihan Curve, Chillicothe, places that are really common with Santa Fe fans. And you still see one of these on the local. It's a -9. It's a pink bonnet, and man, it is faded out. I mean, it really is. I mean, the prime for grime. Our artists, don't get me wrong, they do a great job of portraying what you're going to get. But when you open up the box, it's going to take your breath away. I mean, this is all accurate stuff that Athearn PD has spent hours on. And so take a look at 618, and you'll see, the air conditioner is from probably, it looks like a Heritage 1 unit. It's orange. And, it's just one of those things in the real world. The railroad doesn't really care about the paint scheme as much as they do the operational ability of the locomotive. If it's running good, they're just going to keep running it. So when this thing comes into the shop and it needs a new AC unit, they're not going to, let's go find one that's still super fleet red. They're just going to grab the first thing they can, and in this case, a Heritage 1 AC unit. So you see this in the real world, and this is one of the advantages of the prime for grime. These are late 2000s, but a little bit of research, and you can go even further than that, because like I said, you can still see one or two of these kicking around Galesburg every now and then. Not super common, but they're still out there. 3 different road numbers.
Yeah, the 3 different road numbers and how you did the detail parts different, or the PD team did. I mean, like you said, on the different components with the different colors of the newer BNSF, paint scheme. It's what it is, right? That's real life right there. I mean, we're all going to do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of the neat thing.
It's one of those things as modelers, we think, the merger's here. So what's the paint scheme? Remember when we had Kansas City and CP come together? And I mean, the first thing on all the forums was, what's the paint scheme going to be? When are they going to introduce? And everybody was trying to guess what the paint scheme was. We'll go back to 1995, and the same thing was happening. And we saw some really creative paint schemes come from the shops. We won't talk about the vomit bonnet, but anyways, wow, that
everybody's favorite.
Yeah, everybody's favorite. Anyways, in the real world, I mean, they just don't paint these things overnight. I mean, revenue on the railroad is these things running. So I always say, if you see a locomotive that looks like this, despite what it looks like, it's probably one of the best runners in the fleet because it's not in the shop all the time. And that's what these guys are like. And so they just patch these. I mean, they still say Santa Fe, but on paper, it's the Burlington Northern Santa Fe or BNSF Railway nowadays.
Yeah.
And they just patch these things. And in this case, they haven't even renumbered them yet. Remember, they didn't renumber them until later. I mean, BNSF went through a renumbering series and I think they had one in 2002 and then another one in 2008 or so. It's been a while since I've read the books, but these haven't even been renumbered. I mean, these are still the Santa Fe numbers.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the cool thing. I mean, again, it's like you think about all that information they were trying to do when they were merging together.
Right.
Probably the last thing they cared about is trying to renumber.
Right.
Let's get this thing running. Let's, get things moving. Then we'll figure out our new numbering system, right? And all that corporate
logistics.
It's kind of a cool history part of it. So
absolutely.
Well, that jumps into my favorite. So
there you go.
You knew they were going to be in there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to put them first, but I don't. But,
yeah, 1994. Awesome. Here's another OG. I mean, Southern Pacific. I mean, let's admit it. If you're as old as some of us here are, when you saw this iconic paint scheme, I mean, updated, of course. When you saw this iconic paint scheme on the -9, it was like, wow, the future's here.
Yeah.
This was cutting edge in 1994. This was a great time to be a rail fan and seeing these things brand new.
Yeah.
Little
you
did
didn't
we
think
know.
mergers were going to happen back then, right?
No,
People
it
were
wasn't.
Starting to pay money, buy new locos and it was happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 different road numbers we're going to offer for the Southern Pacific. They've got some unique stuff too. Southern Pacific had some unique things. These are going to be as built as they were ordered from the SP in 1994. Nathan P3 Horn, of course. They too have the early, if you look carefully, they have the early dog leg style stepwell gussets that later -9s wouldn't have. And this, of course, has got the signature SP style plow. That's a really big spotting feature. So even if, I hate to say it, even if years later it was covered up in armor yellow, you still have a spotting feature.
Right. It fit perfect out there in Connecticut. So
push that. They have to push a few feet out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, going to that armor yellow, the same thing we were talking about with BNSF, the patch jobs.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is, but it's still fun when you get a spot one, even with the patch on it. You don't see
absolutely.
them anymore. But,
as a rail fan, I was up in northern Illinois at the time, watching the Chicago Northwestern slowly get covered under that. That armor yellow and Harbor Mist gray. But the cool thing is a few years earlier, you saw Chicago Northwestern and you saw BN stuff, but now you were seeing all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was the first time I got to see, as a New Englander, it was the first time I got to see a tunnel motor, so that was cool in Rochelle to see a tunnel motor. And this is a lot of what we were seeing in the early 2000s, in Rochelle. You look at 9651, there is no doubt what its lineage is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you've got Union Pacific that has just had this acquisition of not just 1, but 2 major railroads. And now you've got this logistics issue of like, oh my gosh, these guys have -9s and we've got -9s and those guys have got -9s. So what do they do? They take these things into the shop, they give them a quick patch job, they give them a new number. And again, on paper, it's all one railroad. It's legally all one railroad. So we've got this prime for grime version. And I mean, it's a GE. So, you're going to have that damage there. You see the damage on the lawn. How many times have we seen that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No shade against GE, but fact of, it just happens. And then we've got, our UP 2000s era, paint scheme. Now, I will say, if you look carefully, you look at the sill. The sill on this is yellow. So that means you're looking at about 2005, 2006, probably 2006, if my memory is correct. When UP got rid of the red sill.
I was going to ask, do you think they had as many discussions about the paint scheme as BNSF did?
I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Or was it just like,
we're going to paint it yellow?
We're going to paint it yellow.
We're going to paint it yellow.
We're going to paint it yellow.
Yeah.
We're going to paint it yellow.
Yeah. They did take the Chicago Northwestern, lightning bolt, lightning stripe thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. That still kind of carries over, and
yeah.
So they,
they placated the SP though, right? So they said, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep the Union part. You guys keep the Pacific, and we'll put them together.
Yeah. So, there you go.
That's classic. All right. BC Rail's coming back, so that's
Canadian cabs.
Yeah, Canadian cabs.
Yeah, we got some. We got some Canadian stuff there, and four window stuff there, and BC Rail. I mean, we haven't offered these before. We've done BC Rail before, but we hadn't done it with the yellow frame stripes, which again, it's an era specific thing. You're talking 2000 era plus.
Yep.
And these do really well for us. We had a lot of comments, a lot of people asking for these, so we thought, you know what, we'll do the 4-window cab BC Rail, but this time we're going to do it with the yellow sill. But this would be perfect for you guys in the upper Northwest there, or in the upper part of the globe, to add both of these to your roster if you're modeling the mid 2000s era.
Yep. No, that's cool. And this next one, you got a legendary livery here with the Kaiser Steel.
Yeah, this is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, and I've said this before about legendary liveries. I mean, we try to keep it plausible. It's like James Bond. Could it really happen? Probably not, but is it plausible? Yeah, it's plausible. Yep. And this is one of those things where, and I mean, there's been debate on this on our social media. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but model railroad guys like to debate things.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, so we put these out there, and I mean, the backstory, the history as we wrote it was, in the final years, they were using General Electric U30Cs. They were built to Southern Pacific specs. If they were to get new power to replace those, what would they get? And logically thinking, okay, maybe they were happy with the General Electric, so they stuck with GE, and they got the Dash 9s. And what would they do? They'd make them to SP spec. So here we have a what if, and it's been really popular. So I would really highly suggest, even though it doesn't really exist, it's a legendary liveries. If you like that kind of thing, I highly suggest you pre-order through Spring Creek, because I will guarantee you that the legendary liveries, with as much hate as they get in the real world, they always sell out first.
Yeah,
always.
We've seen that too. So, and what I love about what you guys have been doing, at least the majority of your legendary liveries, in my opinion, hits like that crazy plausible. I could see that, right?
Yeah.
We could have seen that back in the day.
Yeah,
exactly. I kind of like that. That's the part I really enjoy. What the freelance modelers are doing out there, and what the manufacturers are stepping into. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's just, no wonder. So that's the end, right? I think that was all the Dash 9s that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
So lead into, let's see what else we got. Oh, some
ST40-Ts.
Yeah.
Actually, we just got one release, if you will. We're just using that one as kind of an example of what we've done in the past. But we had requests for wheeling Lake Erie.
Oh, yeah.
And we really wanted, you remember back in, I think it was November or October, people were like, can't you remember this stuff, Jim? No, I can't remember 300 SKUs every month. Sorry.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah. I think it was maybe October or November of 2025. We had a whole run of SD40-2s. So on the surface, you're probably thinking, why didn't you offer this then? Well, the problem is Athearn product development works years ahead.
Yep.
And we were ready to go to print. We were ready to go back in November, and we found out about the wheeling Lake Erie number 1776. And of course, all the guys unanimously voted, yeah, we've got to do this.
Got to do it. Yeah.
It's the America's 250th. And people were asking for wheeling in Lake Erie anyways. So we said, you know what, we're going to offer it, but we're going to wait a little bit. And we kind of did its own little separate announcement. And this is what we've got. We've got two road numbers, 7001 and 7015, for late 2010s. And then for modern day, this unit is roaming as we speak in this beautiful paint scheme, number 1776. And of course, we're going to offer these, since they're an Athearn brand, they're going to come either with the Economy sound decoder by Soundtracks, or they'll be decoder sound ready. So you'll have to supply the decoder of your choice as well as the speaker of your choice.
Okay. So sound ready just means you have a cavity for the speaker
Correct.
to be placed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the SD40-2s and a lot of the Genesis Jeeps and things of that nature, there's a small weight that basically is removed from the chassis, and that is the space for you to put your speaker in.
Cool.
So.
Nice.
Very cool. I think it's neat that you guys did this at its own production, own pre-order schedule. So
right,
pretty awesome.
And you're going to want to pre-order these again, because it's one of those things. I know it's really hard to say, well, you need to pre-order this because here's a one-dimensional drawing, but you've seen the SD40-2s that we've done in the past. They're an Athearn brand, but people still love them for the amount of detail you get versus how much they cost. They're not the same price as a Genesis. So you can run them as is and be perfectly happy with them. Or if you want, you can further detail them. And I've seen guys make these look just like a Genesis locomotive, but they're a good price point.
Yep.
So you're going to want to pre-order this, because once this bicentennial unit comes in, you're going to be like, wow, that is stunning.
Yeah.
And
they're good. Yeah. The other thing I like to say about them is, to me, they're good runners, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't run HO for a long time, but man, we used to run the wheels off of blue boxes when we were kids, and that's carried on through the Athearn brand, right? So, and obviously the Genesis brand, but that's something I always tell guys when they're looking. You're going to be happy with this. It's going to run. It's going to pull trains for you.
Yep.
So I think that was it on the -2s.
Yeah, that was it for the -2s.
You caught me with one of those again.
I thought it was pretty cool. So.
I knew why you put it in there.
All right, moving on, some FP7s.
FP7s, yeah, EMD streamliner for passenger. I mean, looks, on the surface, looks like an F unit. Well, it's an F unit. It's not an F7. It's a little bit longer because it's got that steam generator in there. And I mean, these are some of the first locos that replaced steam for passenger service. But we did something different in this run. Pretty excited about it. We did stuff that was more towards the 60s, the 70s, and even into the 80s.
Yep.
And you don't typically think of these locomotives as lasting that long, but really they did. They had a really long lifespan. We're starting with, you've got L&N on the screen there. We're doing 3 road numbers for L&N. And L&N, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but Athearn is seeing a lot of stronger sales in southeastern roads. We're seeing a resurgence in Southern and L&N and family lines.
L&N in particular for us is really
we have a strong.
Southern has caught us here early.
Yeah, we got a strong customer base in the L&N fans, so it's been pretty fun. We're learning more and more about it, so that's always neat for us.
Yeah,
so.
Right. And I mean, if you're modeling the 1960s and you're an L&N fan, these are used for both passenger and freight. Another neat detail about these is, if you look carefully, that side skirting that was applied when they were new has been not completely removed, but it's been removed in strategic locations. And again, that's for maintenance.
Right.
Back in
it's easier.
Yeah, it's just easier. I mean, it's kind of like, I'm dating myself, but the older cars back in the day, your Lincoln Continentals had those fender skirts.
Right.
It's great until you get a flat tire.
Right.
Kind of the same thing here. It's the shops would cut away that skirting just to make things easier for maintenance. And you really saw that a lot more in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Right. That's cool. Thought this was kind of neat, that southeast again, but looks like several different versions of the same locomotive.
You do, yeah. Now, I will admit, I'm not super knowledgeable on these 3 different railroads. We've had a lot of folks comment on our social media. Our Athearn, you got to realize, our Athearn product developers, they write a lot of the history and a lot about these locomotives. And sometimes I'll go further into that. But for a lot of the data that we put out there, we try to get just enough data to kind of let you know about the railroad. And the thing with these railroads here, their history is so deep that our customers and our fan base has really added to the story. There's a lot of information about these. And, so I can't do justice for the Georgia Railroad or the Western Railway of Alabama or, the Atlanta and West Point. Basically what they were is they were all under the same kind of paint scheme. They were in the same type of ownership. And I've heard from customers telling me that they've seen these things in passenger service right up until Amtrak. I think I heard one customer tell me that even after Amtrak, they were still running. I'm paraphrasing. So if the gentleman's listening to me, I apologize if I'm butchering your story. But I think he wrote that they used the locomotive in at the end of the freight train, they'd use one passenger car. And they kind of used it as a caboose. And it was basically because one woman in one of these small towns still wanted to use the passenger service. And so that's what they did.
Wow.
Kind of a neat story. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the
story.
First time that I know of that we've offered those. So really excited about those.
Yeah.
So this is another trifecta of passenger service. We're going to go up to the Northeast now. And you've got the Reading. Despite what my Midwestern wife says, it is not the Reading, it is the Reading.
Yes, that's right.
We're challenged like that out here too.
Yeah, it's every time we play Monopoly, no, it's not the Reading, it's the Reading.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
It's the struggle is real when you're an East Coaster like myself. So what we've got at the top, we've got the original 1960s Reading. Simple but beautiful paint scheme, the black and the green, and these were used in service right up until you see the middle locomotive, which was SEPTA. And SEPTA, of course, was the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. They took over operations from the Reading in the early 1970s. And for a little bit, they ran around in the Reading black and green. Well, then somewhere in the late 1970s, they finally repainted them. They get it in this kind of patriotic looking paint scheme. Yeah, now, the funny thing that I like about this is the Athearn product developer wrote in his history about these locomotives. In fact, I'm going to read it just because he did such an eloquent job in writing. Rail fans either loved or hated the new scheme, is how we put it. And so, again, this is one that we haven't done before.
That's cool.
We're offering this in 2 different road numbers, and these would last into the 80s. And then we circle back. So what's old is new again. Later on, those same units were repainted back into the Reading. And you're probably thinking, well, can't you just offer the same units and change the numbers or something? It's not that simple. With Genesis, we have to be cognizant of even the minor changes. And if you look carefully, you'll notice that the original 1960s Reading green is a little bit darker than the 2010 Reading green. It's it's almost a lime colored green. Why'd they do that? I don't know. But we did work closely with various historical societies, the Reading Historical Society, and some other museums. And we've worked to make sure that these are accurate. So whether you're modeling the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, or even pretty close to current day, we've got a locomotive for you.
That's awesome. That's a cool lineage of it. Is really neat.
So we got some more Canadian stuff here, eh?
And the big winter hatch.
Yeah. This is cool because this is all new tooling. I'm really excited about these. We get a lot of comments on the first one, the CP Rail, the Action paint scheme. Don't say Pac-Man,
right?
Because you'll have poutine thrown at you.
Yep.
But the Action logo, which I personally like, probably because I remember it as a kid, upstate Vermont, we used to see CP Rail all the time. And what's cool about these 1970s era locomotives is for the first time we're offering them with ditch lights. We've not offered the FPs with ditch lights before. That's all new tooling. Cool. And of course, you can't help but notice winterization hatch, the
Oh,
Canadian style winterization hatch.
out.
That's brand new tooling. We've never offered that before either. A lot of folks have written us and said, hey, can you do the AmRail version from Silver Streak? No, we can't, because it's licensing. That would be licensing with Hollywood. So
you don't want to get in there with Hollywood.
No, we don't want to do that. It would be cool if we could, but when it comes to licensing and things like that, that's a license that unfortunately we can't do. But we're doing 2 different road numbers with the CP rail and the Action Red, and then we've also got 3 road numbers for the Via. This is a late 1970s, and of course, it too has the brand new tooling of the ditch lights and the winterization hatch. And I mean, this is really exciting. But like I said, we've never offered these before. We've wanted to do these Canadian versions for a number of years, and we finally got to the point where we could get to the tooling and get this done. So I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to probably pick up the CP rail just to kind of relive my childhood again.
Oh, that's awesome. There you go.
Well, I think
that's the end.
That was the end of those, but I think this question is probably for you.
Sure. When are you going to do more Boston Main locomotives and rolling stock? Probably never. I think we're done. I think we've done it. I think Boston Main had 3 locomotives, and we've been long. No, that sounds disingenuous to my historical society friends. So I don't want to sound like that. As long as there's a demand, and the thing about model railroading is there's always going to be a demand for your current class 1s. Like I can tell you right now, Union Pacific and BNSF, they're the top tier. They're always going to sell. But as far as fallen flags, we'll have a renaissance period of people wanting Northeast stuff. And right now, like we talked about earlier, we're seeing people wanting a lot of Southern and Louisville and Nashville and Seaboard and stuff like that. So it's cyclical. When we start seeing that demand again, we'll go ahead and start providing those.
Oh yeah,
sure.
All right, let's see what we got next. Oh
boy.
Oh yeah, you need these.
You definitely need these. These are one of my favorite paint schemes out there.
The wheat shot,
one of these right here on the left.
From the Sioux line. I mean, I think that's one of the coolest.
It really is. Now the cool thing about this is, so ACF 4600s. I mean, if you're modeling mid 1960s, pretty much, now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can probably justify one of these. Now, I'm my studio layout eventually, when I have time, that's laughable. When I have time, I'll have a bakery here, and of course, I'm going to need some of these. Yep. I've already got the. I think this one, the Vermont Rail, I've got on the layout now is one we offered last year.
Yep, the yellow. Yep.
So you can use these for a variety of things, and the nice thing about these is we're offering them in both singles. You can get 2 different singles with 2 different road numbers, as well as a 3-car set. So if you're trying to make a grain train, it's real easy. You can get 5 cars, and they're all going to have separate different road numbers.
I thought that was one of the cool things on how you did that, the 5 different road numbers, right? You got the 2 singles and 3 packs of every one of these paint schemes we're going to see tonight, or folks have already seen on your announcements, right?
Sure.
But those are, and the railroads you picked, the paint schemes you picked are, to us, is like iconic ones here in the middle of the country.
Oh yeah,
I don't need more grain cars, but I think I'm going to have more grain.
You're going to need some more
grain cars. Yeah, you always need grain cars. I mean, starting with the top, you've got the NSF. This is my era. Circle Cross. This is pre-2005. That's before the swoosh. It's before the renaming. Mm-hmm. It was originally Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Now it's just BNSF Railway. So you get the Circle Cross. So you've got 1996 plus. And I mean, these are still all over Galesburg.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You still see these all over the place. They're weathered and they're a lot lighter, but they're still out there. And then you've got Burlington Northern. Now, this is an earlier paint scheme. We're talking late 70s. This is the prime Cascade Green era, in my opinion.
Yeah, that scheme lasted until the very end, and probably into the BNSF even.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can still, it's been a while, like I said, since I've been doing some serious rail fanning. I'm sure you can still see these. And this is 1979, but I'm sure, you're still going to find one, and albeit somewhat beat up. And then in the middle, you've got Union Pacific. This is a 1966 era car. So you see the length of time these cars can be used. You know, if you're modeling the 1970s, a little bit of decal work, you can bring the Union Pacific up to 1970 standards, you know, apply, add an ACI label. Now I will tell you guys that a lot of folks have written into us and told us that they don't think the font is correct on the Union Pacific. We are doing further research to validate what we've got. If we find that we do not have the right font, we will change that so that by the time it comes into production, you will have an accurate freight car. That's the beauty of living in the digital age.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, Santa Fe, you gotta have it.
You gotta have this one, right? I mean, you got either version. You got it without the logo or without the name across.
Yeah, you've got two different versions here. You've got 1973, good year, by the way. So you've got your ACI label. This is quintessential 1970s era rolling stock. In fact, I just got done, you know, just before dinner, I just got done watching the Rockford Files, and that took place in Southern California. And there's actually, if you're a train guy like me, the Rockford Files is a great show to watch. There's actually a lot of train stuff in there, and you'll see these in the background. You'll see this, you know, in the background. And this is quintessential Santa Fe 1970s. These lasted into the 80s. And then you come to 1986, and you have one that's a little bit more familiar for the younger guys. Not quite as fancy as the 73 version, but then again, these are Genesis, and they are true to the prototype.
Right.
So this is what you'd see after 1986.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is right. This 4600's old Genesis, right? The whole line of 4600s Genesis. Yep.
Yeah, we've been making these for quite a while, and we still aren't done with road names.
Right, Burlington, Pensy, right? That's perfect.
Yeah, so now we're going back to the mid 60s. I like to call these mid-century modern, you know, era cars. Burlington. I mean, I jokingly in N scale years ago, I modeled the Burlington just because it's such a cool railroad. It's my adopted Illinois railroad. And I used to tell folks at train shows, I'm like, I modeled the Burlington, not the Burlington Northern, not the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the Burlington.
Right.
And people, the older guys would get it right away. But this is great. This is, you know, as it appeared in 1967. Again, we've had some comments from folks that model the Burlington that are concerned about the shade of gray that we're using. Again, our Athearn product development is looking into it. They want to make sure that they get these as they look when they were as delivered. So don't get mad if the gray is too dark compared to the one that you saw 30 years after it was built. We're going to go after what they look like when they left the manufacturing facility, brand new.
Right. Yeah.
Same case with Pennsylvania. This is a railroad that it's been gone now for how many years? So it's 68. So do the math.
Wow. Yeah.
There's still a strong following for the Pennsy.
There is.
And so we wanted to offer the Pennsy again as well. And we've offered this one again. You've got the option of 2 singles as well as a 3-car set. So it just makes it easier for you to build a fleet of these.
Yep. So there's a comment out there about the, like, I think he did the legendary liveries, right, in the 4600s in the past.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so. That
so.
was pretty awesome.
No, I think these were Trinity.
Were these Trinity?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So
that was a very cool set. Yeah, the end.
You always got to have that one. That's just, you can do anything you want with that.
You can with that. Yeah, you're going to see that everywhere.
So here's a shout out for the N scale guys for you. So thought this was nice.
Conrail N scale. I love your SD70s. I have all of them. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So
that's nice.
Your 70s are pretty awesome, right? I even got the original like 70Ms that you guys did.
Yeah.
Back, so. All right, little tank car.
Little tank cars. Yeah, these are cool.
Little boys.
These are just little widow fellas. You know, these are you know, in the real world, they're used to carry either really dense material or in some cases in some food industries where they don't need a big tank car. They've got these shorter tank cars. Cool. The ones that we're offering this time though are mainly for the chemical type stuff, so dense liquids.
Yeah.
But one that's really got my attention, and that's probably got your attention too, is a General American Marks company.
Yep.
3 different road numbers, but they're primed for grime.
Here's a better picture of that one.
Oh,
yeah, that one is really cool.
That's
yeah. And that's perfect for somebody that's modeling roughly 1985 to 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome. The one thing I really like too, and you can see this in the blow up, is I know this is just in the Athearn line, but I think it's cool that you guys put the care into the shelf couplers.
Oh, right. Yeah, the double shelf couplers.
I think that's, I mean, you need that on a tank car, right?
So, you really do. I mean, yeah, if you're going to do it accurately, and I mean, these are Athearn. I don't want to say just Athearn. They're Athearn, right, but they're still going to have the double shelf couplers. And that's one of the things, I mean, it's pretty hard to model a tank car of this era, not have that, because that's standard safety.
I think that's a smart choice by your team, right? The team there at Athearn, that they didn't short on the coupler, right? You can short somewhere else because it's not the Genesis line. I'm not, again, not trying to disparage Athearn line, but
we really see
that really stands out when you're looking at a car, right? So,
it really does. And it's one of the more noticeable things. I mean, typically with Athearn rolling stock, which actually sells the best as far as rolling stock. And the reason for that is because, like, for my layout here, I've got a lot of the old ready to roll before we called it Athearn. I've also got some Athearn as well. The layout is mainly an operating layout. I mean, it's the Genesis stuff, beautiful, don't get me wrong. You're going to have your cut levers and your air hoses and things of that nature. But if you're into operations like I am, honestly, we all know we're going to have that one guy in the club or one guy in the op session that puts the pick in the wrong place, and you lose that detail part. This is where Athearn really shines. And of course you get a little bit of savings, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get detail. These are going to have, you know, all the wire form detail that a Genesis would have, just not as much brake detail and not as much cut lever and things of that nature.
Right. No, I like it. Like how you guys are doing that. So I love the prime to grime. So the ore car, this is kind of leading into that other legendary livery we saw, I think. So cool one there. So
yeah, it's kind of an add-on. You know, these little 26-foot PCNF ore cars. If you haven't seen one of these before, we actually delivered some of these, I think, within the last month. So there's a run out there currently. In fact, you guys probably have them in stock right now.
We got old runs too from
come to our shop.
Yeah, we got
there you go.
You need 120 cars and we can probably make it happen.
We can make
it
happen.
There you go.
For you, so.
And you know, that's perfect. I mean, these are the perfect car for that. These things have a lot of nice detail to them.
Yeah.
They really do. Again, the artwork is as good as our creative team does. It doesn't quite do it justice. I was amazed at how detailed these little cars are. And yeah, you pointed out the Kaiser steel. It's part of the legendary liveries. So if you've got the -9s, you're obviously going to want to order these. Now, these are coming in packs of 4.
Yep.
And there's 3 different 4-packs. So it's real easy to build a fleet of these.
Yeah. This is, I think Ray's hit it on the point. Yeah. Small.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, there's no such thing as not enough space for a layout. And I'm a living example of that, because where I'm at in Illinois, this right here, this is rental property. So when I move, this comes with me.
That's cool.
So, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it type of thing. There's guys on YouTube that have layouts that are only 1 foot by 4 feet long. You've got room. It's just being creative in your thinking. In these cars here, you're always going to see them in a unit train, but you can see them in smaller ones. The tank cars, especially, you're going to see those at smaller, facilities.
Well, I think it was Model Railroader did a layout on Eagle Mountain, I think is what they called it.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Based on the Kaiser steel. It was not very big.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can do something, even if you like the ore train of Kaiser steel. There's something out there that can be done in a small space.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I think to your point, like, and I'm one of the worst offenders out there, right? But the one thing I like to hear from guys is they talk about, like you were saying, that little 1 foot by 4 foot little module layout. had a gentleman here not too long ago, and we were talking away, and he's like, yeah, my modeling is really just truly modeling the car, right?
Sure.
And doing his freelance railroad, modeling the different cars that he wants to have on his future layout, right?
Yeah.
He's still doing something. He might not be a layout, but you're modeling trains, which is cool. Right. So that's fun to hear and see and talk to. So I had one question before we move on. Do you guys know, do these cars ever move anything else besides iron ore, or is it strictly iron ore? And
I'm not as familiar with these as some of the Athearn PD guys. As far as I know, I mean, it's possible. I mean, especially in a maintenance away type of situation, they're pretty much designed for the iron ore because it's such a dense material.
Right.
So that's why they're so short. I mean, they're what, 26 foot, very short, and they're very stocky. When you look at them as a model, they're very stocky. They're made for that real dense material. But I'm sure in some cases where their lifespans have gone beyond, revenue service, I'm sure you'd find one in maintenance away or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I was just curious on that. So I think this is the last one, then the 60-foot Gunderson. So this, I don't know. I probably gush all over these every time they show up.
Wow. That's because they're everywhere.
Jeff gets tired of me talking about 60-foot
60-foot high cube boxcar.
Yep. So
you're modeling in the 2000s. You better have them.
The one thing I'll say before we get into all these pictures is I'm really disappointed that this didn't come out in N scale also.
Yeah, we get that a lot. Are we going to do them in N scale? We probably will in the future. I just don't know
that 60-foot box would be awesome. So and I thought this was neat too, where you even took these modern paint schemes. You can get a whole 5-unit or 5 road number fleet of these, right? So between the 2 singles and the 3-pack. So
and like you said, if you're modeling 2000s. You've got your BNSF right there in the top. You've got Railbox. You've got CN. You're going to see these anywhere. You see these all over Galesburg again. I see these spotted in Champaign at different industries. They are, they're what the 40-foot boxcar was in the transition era for us. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're super cool. I love that. And then I think your next slide here, we even start dipping into some legendaries.
Stuff. That's right.
The one on top here is it's a UP, but it's a T-Box patch. So I thought that was pretty neat. So
something a little bit different, and then you've got your New York Central pacemaker.
Yeah.
That existed on 40-footers.
Yep.
Back in the day, but that's a really cool paint scheme. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those ones. Again, what if 1968 didn't turn out the way they thought it would? What if there was no Penn Central? What if, New York Central, they could have, turned around maybe. So there are modelers out there that model fallen flags, but in a present day situation. And New York Central still has a large following. So we wanted to offer the pacemaker paint scheme like you see here. And of course the Burlington.
Oh yeah. In the red. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. Again, they're mimicking a paint scheme they used, in the mid, post 57 on their 40-foot boxcars, but it's now on a Gunderson, and I think it presents really well.
That's a cool idea, right? You can patch these out even as heritage, right?
Sure.
Or even patch them as they live longer, but now they're into the. They did merge,
finally merged
or something.
Right, yeah.
I really like these. I ran out of room, so sorry for making them a little small.
Worries.
But man, the top 2, I really like the one on the left.
Now I know why you wanted these.
I'll tell you, so.
Yeah, you got to have some Southern Pacific. You've got 2 different versions of the overnight paint scheme. I mean,
that's what I do in N scale, Jim. Is I'm a fictitious SP, that it didn't happen early 2000s. So it's kind of fun. I was jealous when I saw these, so this would have been perfect. So
now I know why you were giving me crap about Northern Pacific.
Yeah, Jeff needs some Northern Pacific heritage heritage cars on his on the MRL. So
there you go. And I mean, let's just think for a second. The paper industry never left Maine.
Yeah, right.
And instead of those little 40-foot and then later the 50-foots, they had to go to the Gundersons because the paper mills just came back booming. Alternate timelines, if you will. What would Maine Central's boxcars look like? And of course, the pine green looks really good on this. And then you've got the McGinnis era looking New Haven.
The New Haven is it's nice looking.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really sharp. And I mean, again, if the East Coast hadn't fallen apart like it did back in the 60s and 70s, you probably could have still had the New Haven Railroad, and that's that's probably one of the most famous paint schemes. Patrick McGinnis, we say what you want about how he ran a railroad, but in my opinion, his paint schemes are pretty cool for both the New Haven and the Boston and Maine.
Yep, I would agree with that. So yeah, the other one you already mentioned it, but the Maine Central with the pine tree logo. I think that's one of the most interesting and cool paint schemes that comes out, right? I mean, when you guys do that, or when it shows up here at the store, it's I don't know. I always show it off to Jeff. Hey, look at this one. So, but
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, well, that's pretty sweet. Be looking. Just, I know that's from one of your previous runs there, but I definitely appreciate you going through all those with us because that's pretty exciting. I'll just hammer it one more time though. N scale 60-foot Gunderson. So
yeah, we get a lot of folks that, and I'm included. I mean, I'm an N scale.
I know.
I didn't do HO until, well, I shouldn't say that. I did HO when I was very young.
Same.
And then when I got into model railroading as a exclusive hobby, I switched to N scale because being in New England, I didn't have a lot of room. Right. And but it's only recently that I've gotten into HO with this layout here behind me, one of my first. And so I agree. I mean, I'd love to see more N scale. The downside is, and just to let you guys know, if you didn't know, we've got a survey going out right now for Athearn products. And it's basically our annual survey. We're asking, hey, what do you model? What region do you model? What things do you like about Athearn locomotives? What don't you like? What do you think about the decoders? That kind of stuff. General survey questions.
Yep.
And it still amazes me. N scale, it's getting bigger. It's definitely getting bigger. I mean, in my opinion, it's bigger than 2-rail O. Certainly, I'd even say 3-rail O. It's still not where HO is. HO is still making a large percentage of the market. But N scale's getting there. And I mean, that's why we've done some new tooling in the past 2 years. So never say never. You might see these in N scale.
Yep. It'd be a good venture into it, I think.
I agree.
The modern world's going to be on those cars. So I think that's awesome. Well, I want to go back here. I'm going to go back since we asked the question about these cars and what they hauled. I don't know if you saw this comment, but it looks like Todd answered here. Conrail moved contaminated dirt.
Oh,
they're in New Jersey with them.
Was that from 3 Mile Island?
And he also mentioned this. I mean, so he's got real life history.
That's the beauty of, like I said, the digital age.
Awesome.
I only know my small corners of the world at the end of the day. The Athearn PD gets paid to do the research, so they try to get as much info as they can. But you find out stuff like that. I mean, so there you have it. Contaminated dirt, which that's a thing, especially in that part of the country. Factories that got torn down, things of that nature.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
So you just can't throw the dirt and forget about it. Not with today's EPA laws and such.
Yeah, my past life doing projects or whatnot, we used to have to haul dirty dirt off the UP different places. We just used 50, 60-foot gongs, right, and hauled it.
Sure.
But yeah, all depending on how dirty it is, right? There's different levels on what you have to do. So
right,
it's kind of cool. True. That was neat to hear there. So
yeah, that's a good backstory.
So I think that was it for tonight.
Yeah, that's all for tonight. Yeah,
let me get rid of that. I guess.
So yeah, I mean, if you like, what we have to offer, you've got till Friday. You guys, the great thing about you guys is you can email, you can go online, we can call you.
Yep.
Whatever.
So just hit us up. Yeah. They're the email across the bottom there at customer service there at Spring Creek Model Trains. And then We also got our phone number,
Yeah.
so you can call into the store, get hit up, talk to Glenda, talk to Jeff, talk to myself. We'll get you down on the list there for the pre-orders. And
those are the 2 easiest ways to pre-order.
Yep. For us, and then we will get you guys your name on the list and be putting in everything.
And it's a no money down pre-order. It is a so if things change when they come in, whatever, don't be afraid to talk to us. Just talk to us, say, hey, things change. I don't want it anymore. I can't afford it, whatever. We work with people all the time. It's not
we try to make the pre-ordering process as easy as possible.
We want to make it as easy as possible, and we don't want to make it to where it's something that's hanging over somebody's head, either.
Yep. So that's
glad you said that, because we get a lot of questions on Train Tuesday. Where do I order this stuff? Where do I pre-order? And we talk about folks like Spring Creek, and they say, well, I don't want to put money down. Well, you just basically took care of that. You guys don't require money down, so that's great.
Yep. So it helps us out a ton when people pre-order. We get an idea what we should be ordering, because sometimes we just don't know, right? We don't understand that railroad. We don't understand that part of the country just because we haven't been there and rail fanned everywhere yet. So, but that's part of it. So always learning. That's the other cool thing. So
absolutely.
You're never an expert.
No, never. Well, Jim, I just can't thank you enough for doing this. I look forward to the next time.
Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah, do this again, I hope, here on your next announcement. So is that coming out next week?
No, actually, we're looking at Friday. They're going to be going live. In fact, I'm working on the new announcement videos in the background. And we've got some exciting stuff, but that, Friday is going to be an exciting day because it's the last day to get these pre-orders about everything we talked about. And then we've got new stuff coming out. So do yourself a favor, call Spring Creek on Friday and take care of 2 sets of pre-orders.
Yep. That'll be awesome. That'll be
be
a big day. I'm looking forward to it. So
there you go.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. We'll see you next time.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Well, thanks everybody for watching here at the world headquarters of Spring Creek Model Trains in Deschler, Nebraska. So got Jeff and Mike. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.